Hi friends, welcome back to Calm in the Chaos Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Davine and I homeschool 4 kids ages 11, 12, 13, and 15 right now. So today I'm going to be sharing how my currently 7th graders work went. This is her more individual work that she did more at her own level on her own. And so today I'm going to share my final reviews on how all that went for us this school year. If you haven't already seen them, I will have put up my morning basket term 3 reviews. So end of the year morning basket, end of the year family subjects, and just overall reflection on our school year. My 5th and 6th graders work and how that went for them. And next week, I'll be sharing my 8th graders more independent work and things like that and how things went for her this school year. So if you want to watch those videos, go ahead and go back and check those out. And if you want to keep following us on our homeschool journey, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're notified of when future videos come up. So if you're new here or if you're unaware, we are a Christian family and we do use some Christian curriculum in our homeschool, but most of our curriculum, I would say, I would consider secular or neutral, but we do always start with Bible. So we do Bible as a family, and then my kids do some Bible subjects on their own as well. So we always have that as part of our curriculum. But if you're here for secular or neutral curriculum, most of our other curriculum will probably fit more in those categories. So stick around if you're interested in either of those types of curriculum. I will put timestamps in the description box below. If you want to skip to any section of this video, feel free. I will also put links to any resources that I mentioned here in case you want to go and take a further look at these resources. So just so I don't get off track, I have my daughter's little checklist here, sort of a weekly checklist that I print off for her, and it's her guide to know what to do every week. So I'm just going to go through and make sure I don't miss any of these things. All right, so something that my daughter was doing on her own for her own Bible study or devotions was Do Right by Not Consumed. This is the junior version. She could definitely move up to the teen version at this point. However, I purchased like a pack of like 6 of these a few years ago, and we've been working our way through them slowly as a family. And then I offered her a chance to do some of these on her own. And so she picked this one to do on her own. So once again, Not Consumed. It's just solid. We really enjoy it. I do have a link for that below as well. We have been using Not Consumed in our family for many, many years. So if you want to hear about the unit we did as a family, you'll want to go watch my family subjects video. And then the other thing that she does for Bible, so she does a Not Consumed like once a week. And the other thing that she's doing for Bible is she's just following a reading list. So she's just going through Psalms, and in her Bible notebook, she is writing one verse from the chapter that she read, and then she's just writing a prayer. So that's just something she does every day, either that or she does one of the Not Consumed lessons. So for math this year, she has been doing Think Well Math 8. That is their pre-algebra course. And so this is the notebook here. So these are the notes. It is an online course, and we picked it because I really liked the short videos. The teacher seemed entertaining and fun. However, I have to say that we did not finish the school year with Think Well Math. Maybe about a month ago, we sort of gave up on Think Well Math. They just had some problem. They had many problems. We've been struggling since, I would say, mid-year. There were a lot of problems that it didn't seem like they taught explicitly, and they were expecting her to be able to make some leaps to figure out certain problems, or just too many steps that I felt didn't need to be in a pre-algebra program. And so I was having a hard time helping her with the math based on the information that I had. I wasn't looking at the videos and I wasn't doing research, but I was just looking at the answer keys. I was looking at the notes. I was trying to figure out how to help her. And I just felt like a lot of the questions were not pre-algebra level, like a higher level. So I would say maybe if your kid is good at math and they're very mathy and they can make those leaps, then Think Well Math could be a good program. I think it's a good program. just didn't fit for us. She does pick things up pretty easily, but math is not her favorite subject, and I wouldn't say she's a mathy kid. So we had to switch from Think Well Math to, I ended up using CTC Math for her as well. So if you've been here, you will see that all my other kids are using CTC Math, and so I had the family account. So basically, when we got to the end of Think Well Math, the last like 2 or 3 units, I just moved her over to CTC Math, and that's what she's been working on since that time. So I think we'll finish up pre-algebra that way, but Think Well Math in the end didn't work out great for us. It was fine for most of the year, and then we started struggling, and then we started really struggling. So I do have more of a full look inside of Think Well Math and more of a more in-depth review, either up or coming up. I'm not sure when that video is coming up, but it's in the works. So if you are interested in that, don't forget to follow me, and you can see that when it pops up. So next, I have a huge pile of language arts items that she works on. So our primary language arts for this year was EIW, so that is Essentials in Writing. And I picked up level 8 for both her and her sister who are in 8th grade. Now, the first half of this is grammar, and we didn't love the grammar. It was it's quite intense. This is much more intense than I expected. And so we just have grammar programs that we prefer above this. So this is going to be our final year using Essentials in Writing. Now, I did pick it up for the writing portion, and the writing portion, I will say, has gone better. It's pretty traditional as far as the writing steps. So they go through the whole brainstorming, drafting, revising, and publishing. And so that has gone better for her. So we are not going to finish this whole thing just because I was finding 5 days a week was just too much for us to do. So she's probably going to miss out on the last unit or 2 at the end of this, but I think I'm going to be okay with that. So I feel like we've been enjoying the writing portion of this better. So it's been okay, but I would not go back and use this resource again. Just doesn't fit well for our style of learning. Just something that is kind of fun that she's been going through and all my kids work on is the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. She's on level 7. She's going to finish this year. So this is her last year of handwriting. We like how the Good and the Beautiful has their handwriting. It's beautiful, and they copy like good things and nice quotes and poetry. And then there's also little drawing areas. And this daughter's very artistic, so it's just kind of fun for her. So that is our handwriting. She also has Wordly Wise. She's doing book 8 right now. We're not going to finish the whole thing. I did slow this down a little bit since she's in 7th grade and she was doing book 8. But we are definitely more than halfway through, and I do plan on picking up book 9 for the upcoming school year. We'll just work on this at our own pace. I think it's good. She has a pretty good vocabulary, but I think it is challenging enough, and it still gives her new vocabulary. And they always teach vocabulary in different, just the different forms of the vocabulary, the different ways that the vocabulary can be used. So I like Wordly Wise. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I think it's a good, solid vocabulary program. She's also going through this reading Detective B1. So this is for grades 1 to 8. And so this is what it looks like. Basically, you have a passage that you read, and then they ask you questions, and then they want you to prove where you found that information. So they'll ask you like what sentence told you that, or what paragraph told you that. I'm not sure if we will completely finish this school year, but we are very close. We might finish it up in the summer. I do a little bit of stuff in the summer with my kids. So this might be something that we finish up in the summer. So that has been going pretty well. I think it's good practice. We are going to take a break from it next year because just doing the same thing over and over again, we get bored with that. So I think it was really good practice and it worked really well, but we're going to take a break from this next year. So her literature books, or books that she's reading, are going along with what we're doing in geography this year. And so we have been mostly studying India, China, and we're moving into Japan and Korea for the last 2 weeks of this school year. So those weeks are still coming up. So she has been reading a few things based on that. So she read A Moment Comes, that's based in India, as well as Tiger Boy, also based in India. And right now she is currently reading Wild Orchid, so the Mulan story. Those are 3 of the books that she read this term. When we do our reading, what I basically have my kids do is every other day they do an oral narration. So they come and tell me what they read in their book. And then on the other days, they are doing a written narration. So they just have a notebook where they write a page about what's happening in the book. And then one more thing that we have for language arts that's just kind of a fun little thing is My Year of Writing. It says be creative every day. And so basically they're just very tiny writing prompts. And I just have her pick about 2 twice a week that she's doing. So she's not going to finish this. I think I'll have them continue on during the summer with this, but I'm not going to be scheduling this out in the upcoming school year. I think it's probably better for upper elementary kids versus like middle school and almost high school kids, in my opinion. But we're just using it because we have it available. And I just thought it'd be a fun way to add some, I don't know, fun writing prompts into their homeschool. So the next subject that she does on her own is science. And so this year, what I did for science, this is our first year splitting up our science. So my 2 older kids are doing science on their own, and then I'm doing science with my younger 2. So what I did this year was she did, I would say 2/3 of her science was Book Shark H. And so we did not do the whole thing. We did about 2/3 of it. I had her do this probably 2 days on, 1 day off. And so she's been doing Book Shark H. And she's been focusing mostly on robotics and technology. So the last subject, the last topic is conservation. We did a little bit of conservation. I was really focusing more on robotics and technology. So the books that she has mainly been reading through at this point for science has been these Build It Yourself series. We have Energy and The Industrial Revolution. So these are the 2 that she read through this last term. And then this is sort of a booklet I made for her. I copied all of the grids so that she could just check them off. So all the grids I wanted her to follow. And then she did the activity sheets in here for those books, whatever was assigned. So that's what she did probably about 2/3 of the time. That was her science. And then I've been adding on some of the Exploring the World of series by John Hudson Tinner. I just thought these looked like really cool science books and just make science interesting and more like a living book type thing. So she's been doing for this term The World of Mathematics. And so she's been reading The World of Mathematics. And then she has her science narration book. So this one she actually designed herself. The cover she designed. And then I had the interior designed. And basically she does, let's see if I can find a nice one here. No, basically I have her do sort of some kind of illustration. I'd like to have a caption. I don't really see a caption on there. And then I have her do some written narration on what she read that day. And so that's how we've been using this all year. If you're interested in a narration journal, basically this is for science. We have a blank area here with an area for a caption. And then we have lined on this side for writing narration. I have a whole bunch with a bunch of different covers on Amazon. So I will link that in the description box below if you want to take a look at some of the options that I have. I made this 180 pages. My other ones were smaller, but I found that I was running out before the end of the year. So 180 pages, this should last a year in our homeschool anyways. So that is one of my narration notebooks that I have on Amazon. And then after The World of Mathematics, we had a little extra time. So she is going through Engineer Academy. This is an Usborne book. And so there's just a bunch of little fun engineering tasks in here. So she's reading and doing the activities that are in here. Then on every 5th day for her reading, instead of reading her novel based on geography, she's been doing more science biographies. So this term, she has been reading Albert Einstein and the Theory of Relativity. And the same thing, I have her write a narration in her science narration book. So she just does a narration when she does that. And I really have liked doing these science biographies this year. So I really have liked mushing and mashing the science together this year. I think it just makes it so it's not so boring. You're not just doing the same thing all the time. And I think my kids have liked having some more variety in their science. So that has been a hit this year. Next year's gonna be really different. So you'll have to stick around and see what we're doing for science next year. But this sort of mixing and matching has worked well for us this year. Next up, we have geography. So she is doing some geography on her own, and then some we do as a family. So if you want to know what we do as a family, you'll have to watch the family subjects video. So we are using both Sunlight F and Guest Hollow's High School World Geography for our geography this year. And so she has been doing the online textbook portion of the Guest Hollow High School Geography. So these are her worksheet pages. And so she will go on and she will read the textbook, and then they have like links to watch videos. And then she's been filling out the worksheet pages. And I really think that my kids have really enjoyed doing Guest Hollow Geography. So we've really enjoyed doing that. So that is what she's been doing. I highly recommend this. I love geography, and Guest Hollow really has made geography super fun. So that's gone well for us. There are lots of things that my girls will tell me, like, oh, did you know this? Did you know that about different countries that they're reading about? So it's kind of fun when they tell me things that I am not part of, because I'm used to doing everything as a group as far as things like geography, science, and stuff like that. So I love it when they share what they're learning with me just because they're excited about it. And so then after all this, she has 2 electives. I'm not going to count typing because she's actually a really good typer. So she was doing typing probably at the beginning of this term, but then she passed all of what I was requiring as far as speed and accuracy. So she hasn't been doing typing, but she was using typing.com. So then we have 2 other electives that she's been working on. So the first one is Artistic Pursuits, Painting with Acrylics. It's a very small book, but it does come with video lessons. So you have a Blu-ray and you have a DVD option. And I think you could probably get digital. I'm not exactly sure if you could get digital, but we always get the CD version. And it's just been really fun. This is actually a half-year course, but we just spread it out over 1 year, because just because she likes art doesn't mean she wants to do 4 lessons a day. So they're really beautiful pictures. They go through the skill, they go through some history, they go through artist study, and then they have like final projects. And so, yeah, we've really enjoyed doing this. I actually have a full flip through and review either up or coming up, most likely coming up. So if you are interested in that, don't forget to subscribe so you can see when that comes up. And finally, she has been doing Mandarin Chinese. So she's working on her Mandarin Chinese 1 credit for high school. These are the resources that we're using. I'm not going to go too much into all of this because probably most of you are not too interested in Mandarin Chinese, but it's been working well for us. We have a conversation book, so we practice conversations. There's digital files that she can go and listen to, and then we practice having conversations. And then we have the basic written Chinese, which we are more focusing on reading right now. So she's been actually doing really well with her reading. And so we're just kind of going through and learning how to read. I read probably at a 2nd grade level, and so I can definitely improve a lot on my reading skills. And I have been learning some as we go through this. And then we have like a practice book. So this is just practicing writing, well, not these, but practicing writing the characters. Not exactly sure what's in the back. I think
probably just more activities. Yeah, I didn't go through all of this super well, so probably things we could be using here in the back.
But anyways, it has been working well for us. I have been kind of putting that together myself, so I don't really have great Mandarin Chinese suggestions for you if you're looking for someone to teach your child, because I do speak Mandarin Chinese, so it is a little easier for me to put it together, but that is what she's been doing. So overall, I think this has been a pretty successful year. We are moving more and more into her doing more things on her own. And just me, I'm learning how to schedule things out when she's doing things on her own. So it's just that balance of how much is too much and not giving her too much, but making sure she has enough. Overall, it's been good. I think it's been a good year. Yeah, so next year she's going into 8th grade and she will be doing more high school level courses. So it's going to be more of a new challenge for me as I try to figure out more that same balance, like how much to assign and how much to expect from her. But it's been a good year. We have been doing our Monday morning meetings all year. So usually it's a Monday, sometimes it's a Tuesday. But on Mondays, I make sure all of her work from the week before is marked, and then I kind of make a pile of all the things that we need to go through and do corrections on and talk about. And then she saves anything that she needs to do with me. So maybe she needs to read some Mandarin Chinese words with me, or she needs help with something specifically. So we've been doing that on Mondays. So usually half an hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, but rarely. And she has been coming out for math help throughout the year, usually more daily if needed. But overall, it's been a good year. And yeah, so thanks so much for coming today. I hope that was helpful in just letting you know how everything went for us. And I hope to see you all in a future video. Bye, everyone.